A good midday Saturday. Roger Hill, VELCO Weather Hazards forecaster with the VELCO Weather Hazards Outlook. Big storm in progress. We're seeing some pretty good snowfall totals showing up now in southern parts of Vermont, working into parts of New Hampshire. And of course, on the southern end of that, there's a rain-snow mix and even some freezing rain and some glazing, as well as a little bit of sleet. All of this will be creeping a little bit further to the north, affecting mainly the southern counties of Vermont, and wet snow loading just immediately a little bit to the north of that mixing line. We have a big weather system coming in ashore off the Pacific Ocean coast. That's going to pump up a ridge of higher pressure, and later on that ridge of higher pressure is going to introduce a gradual warming trend that's going to be working into the region and sort of displacing a lot of the colder air that is across our region. This is associated with this very cold air mass that's still lurking to our north in Canada. Pretty much in the lower 48 United States, temperatures are a whole lot warmer, and that's going to be increasing as this ridge gets pumped up ahead of this upper level low that's off the Pacific Northwest. European model on the left-hand side, we have the GFS ensemble on the right-hand side. Our snowfall is in progress. This is valid at 2 p.m. on Saturday, and you can see that the rain mixed precipitation line here is a little bit to the south. The GFS ensemble is indicating it further up to the north. The European is right. So this system then works on out of the region later on this evening. This is valid about 11 o'clock this evening, Eastern Daylight Time. And as we get into the overnight period, this basically wanes and falls apart. An area of higher pressure that builds across parts of Quebec near Petawawa, Ontario. This particular system here is going to strengthen. So we watch it strengthen 1039, 1044, 1043 over eastern parts of Quebec near the Gas Bay and ridges southward between these two particular weather systems, again, as kind of a ridging is involved now. And this is a rainy system here that's going to stay out south of the ridge of higher pressure over the open ocean. That's something we'll have to watch, but eventually it will bring in a little bit more of an influx of moisture in the form of rain and rain shower activity. This arrives basically not during the day Tuesday, but very late in the day, kind of working in from the south and east, pushed along by this flow that's curling around the area of higher pressure, and then sort of working in around this particular area of low pressure, this incoming storm system. The net effect is that we're going to see rain showers and rain on Wednesday. Doesn't look to be too heavy, but it'll be exacerbated by temperatures that will have warmed and a lot of snow to melt, of course, with the current storm having dropped a lot of snow. Eventually, high pressure is going to build on in, kind of ridging between these two weather systems. And what we're going to see here is a nice ridge of higher pressure controlling the weather along about Thursday. That looks like on Friday a more important weather system is going to work off the coast, off the middle Atlantic coast, and it could spread in rain across our neck of the woods again. It's a little bit too far out to get cute with it. Right now it looks like the European is holding it out to sea. The GFS ensemble, which is probably more correct in this particular case, will probably produce some kind of wet snow or rain shower activity beyond the period here. We're talking Friday. And then basically, as we head into next weekend, it looks like we'll ridge back with another area of higher pressure, both of the computer models showing that. So for this outlook period, the GFS ensemble is showing one big major precipitation maker, and that's the current storm in progress. Of course, this is all snow. A little bit of mixed precipitation in the southern part of Vermont, but looking at the amount of snow, it's pretty hefty, coming up with around 13 to 14 inches of total snow for the grid on Montpelier. That seems to be pretty accurate. Now, what we're looking at here is once that snow falls, there's no other snow to be found except as we get into probably next weekend. That might be the next chance for any kind of little bit of snow shower activity. Precipitation types look like this, and so you can see that we'll get into a little bit of rain, a possibility of some basically eastern Vermont, Connecticut River Valley, spotty freezing rain. This would happen probably somewhere along about Tuesday night, Wednesday morning, and then basically it's rain showers and it goes over to a little bit of snow. But it's all snow here. Looking at 850 millibar hectopascal temperatures. Below the 0 degree isotherm, all snow all the time, and then the snow shuts down and we're cold aloft. We have this gradual warming trend, which would indicate rain, and indeed, This is where the rain's going to be as I show you the precipitation type that's underneath that. So beyond that point, looking at wind, we're looking pretty good in the wind department, staying basically at bay below 40 knots at about 850 millibars. That's all good news there, so no wind gusts to be seen. Looks like the west coast is going to be added again for heavy precipitation, heavy snow in the Sierra Nevada, Cascades, and the western states. And a lot of that does work its way inland. This is a pretty wet pattern now coast to coast. And of course we have our exiting weather system with the strongest bit of business being seen in the eastern part. And the climate reanalyzer 2-meter temperatures look like this. You can see colder than normal temperatures across a wide area of Canada, as I was showing you, and that's going to advect across Canada over time. It's sort of strengthening that area of higher pressure, but we're going to see generally a warm-up, and that's going to expand across the country in the lower 48 United States. Lost temperatures for the next 5 days of high temperatures, about neutral to a little bit below normal, and about 3 days later, we're going to see that warm up, about 3 to 6 degrees above normal, a little bit of incoming. And note that colder air that's back over parts of Canada does drop in behind that second area of low pressure. And here's some of the latest reports here. I'm going to expand this a little bit further to the north so you can see what's going on in the northern part of Vermont. Generally, the least amounts in the northwest corner of the state as predicted, and we're seeing some increasing amounts as you head further to the south. The most, of course, is the areas around the far southern parts of Vermont. And we're starting to see that rain-snow mixing line begin to advance into Bennington County, with the heaviest snows right across this particular area extending into north-central Vermont. And we can see amounts up around 14 inches, this being reported here. This would be at Shrewsbury, 12 inches this hour. That's in Ludlow, 11 inches in the Connecticut River Valley, in Windsor. That's in the actual Springfield and Windsor County. And 12 inches up here west of White River Junction, West Lebanon, and Taftsville, 10 inches and so on and so forth. You can see that some pretty good amounts here are already being reported right now. Corinth already up to 11 inches. That's it from here. Roger Hill, Wuthering Heights. Thanks for watching.